How's everyone doing? So far so good here. January was pretty good to us. Nice and quiet, nothing major happening. Just kind of getting used to all the snow. Our winter's been fairly mild, so it hasn't been too bad. But we are currently under a winter storm warning, so we're gonna get a dump of snow, roughly 30 centimeters in 2 days. I'm going nowhere for the next 2 days. um, so it's been a while since I recorded last. And it just seemed like every time that I went to record last year, it just something else happened, and it was, yeah. So I think my last video was February, like last February. So we had family come down in March, so full house. There was a dozen of us here. There was no recording. Not long after that, my middle girl, who had hair down to her butt, we discovered she had lice. So that was an interesting 6 weeks to get rid of. She actually ended up cutting, like, her hair was down to her butt, and she chopped it all. So she's extremely happy now, and we are, touch all the wood, lice-free still. No one else got it, so that was awesome. May, my father-in-law passed away. June was hockey tournaments and a lot of traveling to take the kids up north because they spend their summers up north with my sister-in-law. And just visiting family and everything up there. July was my father-in-law's memorial and a whole ton more traveling. August, we were actually supposed to go up and celebrate a friend's 30th birthday, and I actually managed to land myself in the hospital every time, because that's how I roll. And then, of course, September was school's back in, so trying to convince 3 kids, no, you can't sleep till noon, we need to go. October's Halloween, and then just, I think it hit probably November, and I was like, I've literally put 2 stitches into everything. That's it, nothing else. Last year was not a stitchy year for me at all. I didn't make a lot of progress on anything, I don't think. But in January, I did have 2 finishes, so I feel like that maybe makes up for it. And I've been stitching quite a bit more this year. So it kind of makes me happy that everything's back, and so far, there's cat hair. So far things seem to be going our way. So fingers crossed that we can make it through and get it done. The only thing that will be interrupting stitching this year, volleyball, more volleyball, hockey, summer, because the girls have decided that they want to hang out closer to home and whatnot, so I don't know, we'll see. And then we have our wedding in October. I've been planning it, it's terrible, I don't like it. So, I guess let's get into it. I will show you one of my 2 finishes, and then kind of what I've been working on since then, and then I have some plans for this year that I figure, my husband will probably appreciate as well. So, my first finish, for 2018, oh, lighting sucks, you guys, is Salem Sisters, the first one. Sorry. Yeah, I finally finished it. I am so excited. This I stitched on just some 14 count Aida that I tea-dyed myself. I don't know if you guys can really see. It's still wrinkly, I haven't ironed it. Let's be real, I haven't hung anything either, so. I got it off a bolt at our local fabric store. Nothing fancy about it, it's just yeah. And I used DMC for it. I did not pick out what I used because I'm not that prepared. Oh, guys. Okay, well, obviously there's black. I can tell you that. Yeah, not the least. Oh, is that it? So, my moon, and the broom here. God, I'm sitting really awkward in my bed. Partly because I'm lazy, partly because this is where I do all my stitching. So, forgive all of that. This used to be my husband's man cave, and then we moved our bedroom down here. So now I sleep in the man cave. Anyway, so I'm not winning, you guys. Maybe if I go, whatever. The broom and the moon are $6.80. And I had all this written down, which irritates me that I didn't grab my paper. But that would involve planning, so we can't do that. $9.20, $9.21, something like that for the pumpkin. Because the original pattern, it called for 3 colors. The wording, the dark black, or whatever. Excuse me. And then for the moon, the pumpkin, and the broom. I don't want a yellow pumpkin. I want an orange pumpkin. So I got an orange pumpkin. I don't remember what I used for, I don't know, 414, 450, 4 or something maybe. I really don't know. Anyway, it's gray. And yeah. 169? No. I don't know. Anyway, that's not important. What's important is I finished it, and I am so freaking excited. So I need to give it a quick little soak. I need to iron it. And then put it in the pile with Lizzie boarding because I still haven't hung her either. I will eventually just have a pile of, excuse me, finished projects that have never been hung. So, excuse me. The second thing that I finished was actually a, pardon me, a Christmas gift for my brother-in-law. He is, he's very into art. He doing kind of his own thing with it. But he likes video games, loves video games. So he was really interested in the Nintendo cell that I had been working on and asked for a little cross-stitch Mario. He's like, seriously, it can be like that big. I'm good with that. No. So I ended up just finding a free pattern online. I think it was on, I can't even think. Anyway, found it, and it's, you know, it's, I don't know if I have a picture. Hold on, might have a picture. Also, I apologize for the sniffling. I'm a little bit sick right now. All this is congested. It's not cute. No, I don't have a picture. Anyway, really cute. And he loved it. He thought it was just, he's like, this is so much more than I asked for. Yeah, I'm not stitching a Mario that's like this big, dude. So, those were my finishes. That's it so far. But I have been working on more stuff. So, oh my goodness. Actually, the first thing that I was working on, even before I finished those pieces, and I'm going to lift this up and you guys are going to be like, what is that? I'll get to it. Yeah. I know it looks like absolutely nothing, but let's see if we can shrink this down a bit so it's manageable. There we go. You can't see it, but this is actually part of the tail and into the body of Krampus. I bought the pattern, oh my gosh, forever ago. Like at least a year ago, I think. And I was so excited. And I'm like, oh my god. But I had never found a proper fabric for it. Couldn't find anything that I liked. Anything that I found on 123 Stitch. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. It was, of course, sold out in the size that I needed. So I was like, hey, I'll just leave it. I'll wait. You know, whatever. We'll deal with it later. So I put it off and put it off. This is just from Michaels. I'm sorry, you guys. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's like the Irish linen or something like that. It's fairly thin. Like, there you go. But it's not super stiff and awkward to work with, which makes me happy. Excuse me. So he has been an ongoing project. I actually haven't picked him up for quite a while now. But I need to, because I would really like to be able to hang around this. What else have I been working on? I have a online subscription to, sorry, I'm trying to move my needle minder here. Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher magazine. And I have been flipping through, I believe, the fall 2017. Yeah. 17? Maybe. I don't actually remember. Issue. And, I came across this piece here. So this is called May the Witches. And this one is by The Primitive Hare, I believe. Yeah, that sounds right. I would attempt her name, but I would butcher it, and I don't want to do that. So it's just a cute little stitch. I clearly did not, center it on my fabric at all, because I don't think before I do these things. Again, this is just another scrappy piece of 14 count Aida that I had laying around. I kind of tried dyeing it with like 1,000 different things. There was, beets, there were red cabbage, there was tea. I just didn't love any of the color that the food provided, so I was like, throw it in the tea. So I did. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of snow out there. But I was like, okay, we'll put this on here. So I changed up the colors a little bit. I used my own threads. Some of the conversions I went with. Again, don't have my colors. Oh wait, maybe I do. Hold on, maybe I'm a liar. Am I a liar? Maybe. So I don't actually remember what it called for. But I have my threads here for it. Oh, also, in case anyone is wondering, the gray that I used on Salem Sisters was 317, because I just found that. My organization, man. You guys, someone help. Anyway, nope, these are not them. Where the fuzzy kittens are they? What did I do with them? Really? Okay, I'm a liar. I don't have them. Those are all the colors, or some of the colors for, I'm stacked over there, that's what it is. Those are for Salem Sisters. 2? 3? Anyway. So, some of it was for hand-dyeds. So, the orange, I can tell you, is 3826. I should put that back in there. I think I need that. For her dress and hat, which was just decided to be dark, I actually used, one strand of a blue and of a black. You can kind of see the blue there in her dress and everything. Her skin was actually supposed to be skin colored. I made her green, because I want a witch. Can't really see, but her little hands are green as well. The words are just a straight brown. And then I believe the border was actually also supposed to be the same brown as the words. I didn't like that. So it is deep green. And then I have, I think, a couple pumpkins to do somewhere in here. And then I just have to finish the border in her dress, and it is done. I was stitching it in hand and enjoying it, but I think just all of the constant attempts at dyeing kind of skewed the fabric a little bit, so my stitches don't lay as nicely as I would like. It looks a little bit so I don't know. I love it, but I don't love it as much as I could. I think if I were to restitch it, I would just stitch it on just like a straight undyed or not dyed quite as many times fabric and see if that helps. And obviously center it better so I can put it in a cute snap. So that's made the witches. God, I need to finish that. What else? Oh, I literally the minute that I finished the first Salem Sisters, I cut the fabric off because again, this is another piece of that 14 count Aida that I got from our fabric shop. It's huge. Yeah, I'm not you can see there's quite a few rolls there. I started number 2. So I have my little cauldron and some of my smoke done, my moon, and then the start of my letters. Again, all DMC. I have almost no specialty threads, like at all. I honestly think the only specialty type threads that I own came with a Lizzie Kate kit. That's it. And then I think lastly, what I've been working on here, oh gosh, again, from that bolt, is my Nintendo cell from Armada Designs. So I've had the Mario one done for a while. Haven't touched anything up here. I may have added in a couple more blocks. This one I think will be Kirby. This one will be Donkey Kong. This one is Contra. This is the one that I've been working on. This one, she said, is the most stitch heavy one in the entire thing. So I think that's probably why I opted to tackle it, because I initially was like, don't want to, can't make me. But I sat down and I was like, you know what? We're gonna get that one done. So this has been sitting on my Q-snap on my stand here. Oh, that's really mobile. For the last 4 days, 5 days maybe? I finally got a stand. It is nothing fancy. It is literally, I think one of the Loops and Threads brands from Michaels. It was like $60. Nothing fancy. I mean, there's definitely a lot left to be desired. But again, Michael's $60. I wasn't going to complain, and I was already having an issue because when I hold my Q-snap, I sit like this, and it puts a lot of strain on my arms and everything, and yeah. My husband is tired of listening to me whine. He's like, why don't you buy one? You seen the prices, bud? Oh. He's like, how is it that much? 'Cause it is. So I opted for this little guy. It's actually not terrible. I mean, I'm sure it does not compare. Yeah, like, see this? Yeah, all the fabric guys. I know it doesn't compare to a Lowry or anything like that, but for me and, you know, my stitching and whatnot, it sounded like the train was going by. It works and it does a good job, so I'm quite happy with it. I read a lot of reviews online, and there were a lot of people that were saying, you know, we hate it, it's terrible, it's the worst. Sorry, I had thread stuck in my ring. I don't mind it. I do like it. So I am happy. with that, I messed my hair up, guys. Okay, there. Excuse me. It's actually pretty chilly down here, so hence. I think that's it now. That is all that I have worked on. Yeah. I think I spent maybe a day on Salem Sisters 2. Or it was like a day and a half. Because I finished the first one, and then I started the second one, and then went right to bed. Did a few stitches the next night, and then I was like, And then I started thinking, because I watched Trisha from 3L Threads. I'd watched her video on, oh my gosh, I don't even remember which one, but Whipocalypse, you know, and I was sitting there and I thought about it, and I'm like, I don't have that many whips. I don't have that many whips. I mean, okay, yeah, I do, I'm looking at them. I do, I lied. I have less than her, though. Win. So it's like, you know what? Maybe I should do these. Like, maybe I should actually work on them and make progress. So, while I was stitching on my Nintendo Sal, I think, I had sat down and I made a list of all the patterns that I have that I could find. Okay, that's the bad part. And of my whips and everything. So when I buy a pattern, if it is a digital download, I obviously just print it and that's that. And then I'll file the actual file that's emailed to me, whatever. I'll file that in a different folder and blah, blah, blah. If it is an actual, like, legit pattern, I will make a working copy of it immediately and put it away. Just makes it easier that way. I always have a working copy and I don't have to worry about drawing on the original. So I have quite a few of my working copies, you know, just in the binders that you're actually sitting on. That's why it's so shaky. I'm on the bed and you guys are sitting on 2 binders, a half of a 10-inch hoop, and a box that I keep all of my spare thread in. Professional! So yeah, I went through and I know I didn't find all of them. There's more than 50 patterns. I didn't actually realize that there were that many. So that was a bit of a shock for me. I was like, oh my god. So I sat down and I went through my little stitching basket, which is over here. And yeah, I do. I have quite a few. Some stuff is kitted, some stuff isn't. But yeah, that many patterns, and I haven't stitched, like, any of them pretty well. So I decided that this year is going to be kind of my own take on, you know, the Whipocalypse. I do have some started, and I plan on finishing them. That's why I've been working, you know, on these ones and trying to, excuse me, knock those out. So I have more finishes, and I can totally do it. But then I sat there and I was like, you know what? I should take it a step further, and that's what I'm going to do. I have decided, sorry, I'm trying to get my crappy phone. There we go. That I'm going to, I'm on a no pattern buy for this year. That is my plan. The only thing I can buy is fabric if I need it, or threads if I need it. I mean, I have a ton of patterns, so I don't need any more. So yeah, that is what we are doing this year. So, sorry guys. I want to finish May the Witches, because literally I have a line and a smidge, some pumpkins, and the dress, and it's done. So this will be like my main goal there. This one I know will take a little bit longer, but in order to encourage myself, I'm actually going to count each block as a finish. So I almost have a finish here. super excited about that. And if that's cheating, I don't want to not be a cheater. As well, no laughing. I still have my woodland creatures thing from Frosted Pumpkin. March is right there. That little square, yeah, that's March. I don't know what the issue is. It needs to get done though. So that is also kind of on my roster to, you know, be worked on. Instead of starting new things, get these done, and then I can start new stuff. Oh, this poor thing. So sorry. Literally. This was like my first big project. I made a terrible life choice by doing it on black. But damn it, it's the Addams Family. In my defense, it's black 14 count Ada, so I mean, it's not the worst, but still. So I have pretty much the top done. I think I need to fill in spiders up here, and then their names along the bottom, and then that's it. You can see down here, there's Lurch's arm, and part of his pants, and then a broom, and then the top to go across for that. So that needs to get done, because I want my Addams Family done. So I have backstitching mostly left on here, and then that piece is finished. This piece, oh, that's washed out. That's sad. It is much more vibrant in person. I don't even remember which one this is. And I don't think I can get to my thing, because you guys are sitting on them. Sorry. Anyway, that is the Hocus Pocus cat spell. The entire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5 stitches I have in it. Clearly needs to get done, because that's ridiculous. In here, oh hot damn, all my threads are in there still. I have, oh, there's that needle miter. This guy here, this one is Witchboard by Cottage Garden Samplings. There we go. This is the actual pattern. I got this from 123 Stitch. I can't show you guys a lot because the pattern is everywhere. But yeah, there's your threads and stuff that it calls for. And again, I don't remember what I'm stitching it on because the tag is right below you, so that's not happening. So yeah, that needs to get done too. I went gung-ho on that for a while and then stopped. What's in here? Oh, this is my Lizzie Kate. So this one here is Lizzie Kate, A Good Marriage. I actually had intended to stitch this for a friend when they got married. It didn't happen. So I'm going to slowly stitch it for my husband and I. There you go. That's, and yeah, these are all my little hand dyes. What are we at? Almost a half hour. Okay. So on top of these, I also have like Ramping Cats. There's actually not a lot else started, which is good. So, I mean, I have a stack to work with. And I feel pretty excited about this, about doing it this way, about finishing whips and everything, and yeah. So, one of the things that that I want to start. You done? Cat! Take it out of the place. Anyway, one of the things that I do want to start, that I have had the pattern sitting for a while, is Death by Cross Stitch. Hold on. I don't have my threads or my fabric here. Hang on, guys. Okay. Sorry, guys. Totally unprepared. So one of the things that I do want to start this year, eventually at some point, is, oh right, death by cross stitch. Like, why did I get up? So I had purchased the pattern, excuse me, and I wasn't sure what kind of fabric I wanted to do it on, or if I wanted to do it in just the black. So I really just kind of stuck it in the back of my binders, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it eventually. In watching different YouTube videos and all the Flosstubers and everything, I really love Emily from Eclectic Possession. I love her take on it. She's doing each section a different color, and just, oh. So I kind of like that idea. So I thought, you know what, maybe that is how, pardon me, I'll tackle that. So, excuse me. Sorry, I just took my meds and I'm a bit of a mess right now. So then came the wonderful decision of what kind of color palette do I want to use? Do I want to, sorry, I have them all sitting right in front of me and I'm trying to sort them a little bit. You know, do I want to just go crazy and just have it completely random, like 100% random? And I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm ready for that. Sorry, you guys. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Or do I want it very organized and this and that, blah, blah, blah. So I figured my first step was find fabric. Excuse me. So on a trip to Michael's, actually, I think it was the day that I got my stand. I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna go with that. Yeah, the day I got my stand. One end. This is her cat hair. Again, another, just, I don't even remember what it is. It's like, I don't know if it's Charles Craft or what. I don't know. Anyway, it's 18 count. It's like 25 inches by 29 inches or something. I mean, this is a huge piece of fabric. And I had actually kind of given up on finding, excuse me, a piece at Michael's that would actually even remotely accommodate. Because for the most part, you can only find like the little 15 by 18s or whatever they are. But this one is like 25 by 29. I think it's oatmeal. So I don't know if you guys can really... It's got some flecks and some darker spots and whatnot in it. And I debated on tea dyeing it. But I pulled out some of my other tea dyed Ada, and I just wasn't loving how my floss looked on it. So I opted to just leave it natural and go from there. So I went out and I carefully picked out a color palette and everything and this and that. I like it. I don't know if these are the only ones that I'm going to use. I've also got my Sasha DMC over there as well, so I was like, well, we'll see. We'll go from there. So for the initial border around the whole thing, do you want down? Come on. Sorry, you guys. There you go. The initial border around the whole thing, I picked up 3847. Hold on. It's got more green to it. This is such an awkward lighting because all my light is here. Anyway, so that'll be my border color, and then just kind of mishmash as I choose. We have 3812, which is definitely more green than it's showing. 995. I love how intense these are. 915. 730. 3852. 922. 154. Those are actually purple. There. It can kind of. 166. Yeah, no, those totally don't match. 309. And then I have one skein of 725. 3705. 720. 3808. And 722. So those will eventually become my Death by Cross Stitch. I wanted more of a jewel tone palette, I guess. So that's kind of what I aim for. And then I think as well this year I would also like to finally stitch the Plague Doctor pattern and the Mrs. Plague Daughter. So I have my fabric for it. Again, tea-dyed it myself because, yeah. My floss is all picked out and ready to go. So other than what I have started, those two are really the only things that I am, I guess, dying to start. Excuse me. Earlier this year, I actually picked up the giant Harry Potter pattern, which I have my fabric. I've had my fabric for that for, oh my gosh, quite a while, like a long time. But oh, it's over there. Pardon me. Ooh. Budget just was not allowing me to spend like $100 on the pattern to buy it all at once. So, excuse me, not long ago here, the conversion got a little bit better, so I opted for it. But this is what it will be stitched on. I don't actually remember where I got it, what it is, anything like that. Orange Zweigart, I guess. Hi. What are you doing? Hey, chipmunk. Oh, you're so cute. Yeah, so don't remember, but it is massive. It's like a pale, almost icy blue, and it's got the opalescent thread in it. So that's what Harry Potter will go on. Is that it? I think so. Otherwise, there has not been, excuse me, a whole lot of haul or anything like that. I spent a lot of my time kind of on a no-buy because I was too busy buying patterns. That's going to take me 900 years to stitch. Guys, it's ridiculous. Actually, you know what? Okay, first we'll do these. So over the last, well, year now, I guess, it would have been literally a year. Every time that I've gone, I've kind of picked up spare flosses. So literally just all DMC, all stuff for the most part, I think that I have in my boxes already. So these are usually kept in the box that you guys are sitting on. Also, Witchboard was on Cyprium. And the Hocus Pocus is on Meyer. In case you're wondering, because I pulled them out. So yeah, I don't think I have... I'm gonna move you, and I'm really sorry. Just, oh gosh, you guys. There's my knitting needles. Right there. Teaching myself to knit again. It's been interesting. I have the entire Save the Stitches pattern sitting here in front of me. I always assumed that backstitch was just super simple and it's just a line, like who cares? No, there's a lot more to it. So, I've decided that I should probably wait on that one a little bit and go from there. Let's see here. Okay. The Nintendo Stitch Along is like 5 bajillion pages long. Okay, so anything else that's violently pressing? I don't really think so. I actually participated, and by participated I mean I purchased and didn't do squat on, the Ship's Manor Halloween Mystery Town. So I would like to do that. I have all the threads for it. I got the fabric that it's supposed to go on. Like, yeah, I want to do that. So, eventually, that is not, need to do right now kind of thing. I've also got Village of Hawker and Hollow sitting here. Ask me how impressed my husband is. There's more that I haven't printed off yet, that I would like to work on. I think the Primitive Hare released I can't, hold on, because this is going to irritate me now. So, the Primitive Hare actually ended up releasing a pattern similar to Salem Remembered, and I have wanted to stitch Salem Remembered for, since the minute I saw it. I absolutely adored it. Unfortunately, it is extremely difficult to find. I have not yet found a copy, or anyone that is willing to lend me theirs, so still on the lookout though. That's okay. So she released one called Witches of Salem. Excuse me. It's obviously not identical or anything like that, but it's the same kind of idea. It lists them and everything, and so I opted to purchase that. So I picked that up back in October. Oh Lord, I did a lot of shopping, you guys. Oh, okay. Yeah, and then I got the Plague Doctor and Mrs. Plague Doctor back in September. I picked up Strange and Unusual by Fiddlesticks AU in November. And then in November as well, there's an Etsy shop called Antiqually, and she had a big sale. So I picked up 3 different octopuses. Octopi? I don't know. But they're cute. I'll eventually stitch them, but again, not a priority. But the Witches of Salem one, I would kind of like to get on and do. So that may become a need to get it done pattern. I'm going to pull you guys closer, I'm sorry. So I think that's it. There's a year of update. Not a lot. I'm hoping that I'll be able to record on a slightly more regular basis other than once a year. I just really like this year to be quiet and less eventful than last year was. I think at this point it's kind of possibly looking like I will end up having extra downtime this year. My doctor has been talking more knee surgery. Not super keen on that, but we will see. So, should that happen, I'm going to be spending a lot of time on my butt. So, I will have plenty of time to stitch. But yeah, so those are my plans. I want to get my whips under control. I want to stitch some of the stuff that I bought. So I am on a no pattern buy. And so far, I haven't bought any since November, right? Yeah, right? No, I think November is the end of November. That was the last time that I purchased a pattern. So, but other than that, that's it. So I will probably be back maybe March sometime. I don't know. I'm going to aim for roughly once a month again. I am not promising anything this time. Last year showed me just how crazy and unpredictable things can be, so I'm aiming for March. It's the best I can do at this point. So I hope you guys all have a fantastic day and that you're getting more stitching done than I am, because I'm not. My kids are actually going to be walking in the door here right away, so I will talk to you all later. Bye!